And we're in the pre-show, just like that.
Good evening.
Oh, that sounded crisp.
It was a good one, wasn't it?
It sounded mighty swell to me.
I have a great deal of faith that the internet is going to cooperate much more this time around than it did for our last.
Yeah, we're back in our normal setup today. So
Hopefully people are willing to come back,
I think it was good quality content to see us struggle. We weren't trying. It wasn't even like we were good the whole day out there, and it was like
It's really just about the friends you make along the way.
right. And we made a ton of friends along the way,
Along the way.
Yeah. So welcome in, everybody. I see some Cardinals related takes I'm already angry about.
And you already have people petitioning for you to change your pick in the mock, which we just got done recording. And guess what?
Yeah, we got good news, everybody.
Change the pick in your mock.
See, it's the friends you made along the way, guys. Jamie is here with us in spirit, standing on the top of his kitchen counter. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that. Yeah, so tomorrow's mock draft, the second half, we've made a correction. I was allowed to make another pick for the Cardinals, so I made a change. So you'll listen to that in the morning.
I'm just letting the suspense hang.
I know. I was like, we're just gonna sit here in the pre-show, just let it kind of build.
Joe, have you noticed Chris's new addition?
He has a shirt and a backdrop.
Dude, I think Kyle phrased it in a way so that it was a reveal to the listeners, and you just kind of
supposed to be real subtle there. And Joe's like, "Oh, look at all these new things Chris has."
I should get zero complaints about the background anymore. Zero.
I guarantee you will, though.
Somebody will. Somebody will be like, "Oh, it's not, not angled right, or can't see the light's not shining properly on it." Whatever.
Follow me.
Let's go live.
You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
It's weird now because I don't start the podcast.
Yeah, there's no intro of guys being dudes. It's just hi, everybody.
You come up with a new intro. That's all.
Charles just wants you to be more professional,
Okay.
Chris.
Well, Charles,
Chris,
you're gonna have to wait then.
You're bringing down the professionalism of the Draft Dudes podcast.
Vontel, I got you.
He just
I
have to
got you,
wait till
Montel.
tomorrow. Have to wait.
I got you, Vontel. Don't worry.
So it's takes on takes, right? That's the plan here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Hot takes, anything you got? We guys will take them.
Fire them up. All right, we're going to start here because it's obviously the news of the day with J.J. Watt signing his deal. The Sports Nut put it in here. Arizona will win the NFC West in 2021. And Joe, I need you to get it on my behalf, Joe. I need you. I hope it's accessible because I need you to get it on my behalf.
Get the lights on.
The suspense. Oh, the lights are going on for this one. That's what I want to see. Thank you.
Yes.
There it is. No. Do you want to know why they're not going to win the NFC West? Because they have a pretender at quarterback and a middle school caliber head coach.
Wow.
How do I follow that up? You don't.
People are going to say that I'm just a sour Bills fan. And maybe I am a little bit, but I do think those things about the Cardinals, and I have been saying that for a while. So,
Chris, can you get the one from Bob Sacamano?
Sure. Well,
do you know why Bob Sacamano is relevant? Neither one of you watched Seinfeld with any degree of continuity, have you?
No, none whatsoever. So
this is Kramer's buddy from the show. He's like, yeah, my buddy, Bob Sacamano. And he's always got stories about the crazy stuff that Bob Sacamano does. And it was really more about just seeing the name Bob Sacamano than it was
the take itself.
The
but it was Dolphins
take
related, so that's not surprising coming from you,
Yes, this is a correct take, Bob. My buddy Bob Sacamano. It's correct. Trade out, no matter what.
This one from Rahul. A group of TDN Premium Slack members would make for a better front office than the current Texans front office. I would love us to discuss this on the show today.
I think so. Some good minds in there, Kyle. I enjoy interacting with the folks in Slack.
There are some very bright folks in the TDN Premium Slack.
I bounce some ideas off of them. Sometimes I take questions that come up in conversations that we have and dump it in there just to see what people say.
Just to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
What's the best question you threw in there and got conversation on?
Recently, I gave them the question: if you had to draft either Elijah Vera Tucker or Rashawn Slater, and you had to play them at left tackle, no matter what, which player would you rather pick?
And what was the consensus?
Vera Tucker. It really was, which I agree with. At tackle.
All right, Chris, what do you got for us?
This one from Halil's Real Football Talk. Nick Bolton is only the third best linebacker coming out of the SEC.
Ooh.
This is not factual. This is not factual, and I will not stand for Nick Bolton slander. He's grown on me the more I've watched. He is, if you play a lot of coverage with your backers, you'll be disappointed. So if you wanted to say for my specific system, I would rather have Jabril Cox because he's better in coverage. I get it. Do I necessarily agree with it wholeheartedly? No, but I would understand why that would be your positioning. But Nick Bolton is one of these linebackers who's on the field in third down, and he's used a lot in pressure situations and as a blitzer and playing forward, and he's really dynamic in that kind of role. Chris, we need to address the question from Charles.
Okay, I saw that one. I will put this up here for you.
Yeah. So Charles wants to know where you can find the TDN Premium Slack if you are a premium subscriber for the Draft Network. So when you enrolled, you should have got a confirmation email, and there is a button in there in that email about accessing the expert forum. You click that button. It's an invite to the Slack channel. Please come in at Joe. You're just Joe Marino, right?
I think I'm Joe M, maybe?
Joe M in there. I'm at Dagon Watson. So come say hi. And
of course you are.
Yeah. So
Kyle
come say hi to us.
changes it all the time, I think.
I do. There was a running theme where every week that the Dolphins got a win, I made some play on words for the opposing team's quarterback from that week. Sham Newton. I don't remember the
Kryler Murray.
Kryler Murray.
Wow, these are great.
Yeah.
These clearly took you a while to come up with. So.
They did. Dad puns.
I'm going to throw this one up because I believe you guys have just did your cross checks on this gentleman.
Yeah, I was going to tell you to put this up for Kyle.
Jalen Phillips is edge one. I believe I watched Kyle watch tape for the cross check of this guy.
You did. And Jalen Phillips, I just did a top 50 big board that dropped this afternoon over at TDN. Jalen Phillips is edge one. Jalen Phillips also comes inside my top 10 players. The only concerns with Jalen Phillips are about his departure from UCLA and how comfortable teams will be with him and long-term forecasts when you take into account there was a medical retirement from UCLA. But on the field, he's a monster. He's an absolute freak show. I'm all in. And from my perspective, I don't really have to vet for the off the field stuff because I don't have a locker room to project him to go into. So I can just grade on tape. I can acknowledge that there's questions. But if I'm just going to grade him off his talent, he's phenomenal. He's edge one.
Fontel says, Mac Jones will have a better career over one of the big four quarterbacks in this year's draft, but it will not be Trey Lance.
I think what's important about what Vondel's saying here is that in reality, all these quarterbacks aren't going to be very good, right? There's going to be a couple that flame out pretty quickly. There'll be two that are probably pretty good and one that's okay. Like that's the reality of it. It's hard right now to buy into that because I think Mac Jones has the least exciting physical gifts, and I just don't know that there's a path for a player like him in today's NFL with everything that's on your side offensively to just take that type of a hit when it comes to not having arm talent and mobility. I think that you're just basically saying we like the processing, we like the accuracy, and we're willing to throw out half the playbook that matters in today's NFL to buy into that. And I can't say that about the 4 guys ahead of him. So I'm out on the take, but I appreciate where he's going with this because I think there is a lot of merit in reality too. Yeah, all these guys aren't going to be difference makers in the league.
This one from Edward. Koromoa with the right defensive coordinator will be one of the best defensive players to have come out of this class.
I love Owusu Koromoa. He's another top 15 guy for me just off of the board that I just stacked.
Yeah, I was actually about to look it up, and maybe you have it quicker than I do, Kyle, but I'm sure he's in your top 5 overall defensive players.
He might be
Parsons,
number 3.
Phillips,
No, I think he's number 4.
4. He's 4 for you. He's 11th overall. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a really good player. And, you know, he's tailor-made for today's game with how much time he spent outside just being in a box role and rather being a nickel, playing in coverage. I'm absolutely in on him being a player who has translatable skills, and he has this nose for the football that has allowed him to make some really, really big plays. Joe saw something.
Yeah, Joe's face. I thought he was going to tell me to put up a take. Joe, you want to take? You can go up, man. You got to make the request.
It was the Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa better than Micah Parsons.
It was this take. This was the take.
Those are really different players, right? Like really different players.
They are.
So I was processing into my head. I don't have necessarily a hardline stance.
Okay.
I was just
your face made us think that there was something there, so we just wanted to check. Okay. This one from Sebastian. Rashad Bateman at 20 is better value than Jamar Chase top 7.
I can get behind this, and the reason why is, Joe, I think we have Chase ranked 6 or 7. Okay, so you're getting appropriate value. I have Rashad Bateman, I think like 16. 19. Still plus value versus minus value for where you have him ranked. And, Joe, you know this. When you look at the trade value chart, what does the drop-off in value look like from pick 1 to pick 3?
It's big.
It's massive.
Yeah.
What is the drop-off from pick 15 to 20? As far as the valuation of those picks.
Yeah, they're not. It's not
your
really
top 10 picks, it's exponentially more valuable. So drafting a wide receiver, regardless of his breakout age and what his 40 time is going to be, and I think I saw he put up 23 reps at Exos and did field drills and had himself a nice workout. A wide receiver who we didn't even get size for him, right? But like he doesn't play to his size, or he plays above his size. But how do you quantify that for how consistent that'll be against 6'2" long corners? You just, there's some questions there. There might be a little bit more inconsistency. I feel better about getting the value of a wide receiver who I've rated in the top 20 at 20 than taking a wide receiver at 7 that's arguably not a premium position when you consider what you can get at the wide receiver position later in the draft.
This take from Braden. Take Marcus Mariota will be the Bears starting quarterback week 1 of 2021.
I can see it. I can see that for sure, especially if the talk now in Vegas is they're going to extend Derek Carr. Well, if that's your guy, there's really not a whole lot of reason to stash Mariota, and you might as well take that opportunity to trade him. And let's face it, Chicago's running out of options here at quarterback.
That signing was a bit of a head scratcher to begin with, because they didn't sign Mariota for cheap.
No, they gave him
significant dollars.
So what Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy have to be asking themselves right now is what quarterback that we can gets us to the playoffs and we win a game in the playoffs. Because it doesn't sound like anything other than that is going to keep them employed.
And the answer is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I agree with you, and you don't have to give up anything, but there's no long-term upside with Fitz.
I feel like we have put Ryan Fitzpatrick on about 6 different teams here once the offseason.
You only can play for one.
You can only play for one of them, but we have attempted to have him play for multiple.
All the more reason to just sign him.
As long as it's not New England.
Motion to combine 2 takes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. This is the first part of the take. There will be at least 4 trades in the first round of the draft.
Yes.
That's part 1.
Right.
And then from coworker friend Jamie Eisner, at least 3 teams in the top 5 trade back.
Ooh, 3 in the top 5.
Draft dudes do math. Here we go.
No.
Ooh, I'm all the way out on that, Jamie. I'm all the way out.
Jamie is saying that the Jets, Dolphins, and Bengals trade out.
The Bengals never trade out.
Right.
And if you're the Jets, how do you not sit there and pick a new quarterback?
Well, we had this conversation.
They could really love Sam Darnold, Joe.
We had this conversation in Scottsdale this past weekend. Chris was not having it.
Having none of it, to be completely honest with you. Was having none of it. But so yes, I think it's very difficult to think even if the Jets do trade back, where are you getting the 3rd team from? Because I don't think the Falcons would move out of 4, right?
Their most likely trade partner is Carolina, so you'd have to have somebody come off the reservation. I don't think Atlanta's going to be chomping at the bit to move way back.
All right, part 3 to this take. This is from Kyle, the commissioner. There will be 0 trades in the top 10.
All the way out.
Yeah, I don't think so. There will be at least 1. Jamie's going to dunk all over us if we're wrong about this.
Yes, he will.
That's fine. Let him.
Yes, he will.
That's fine.
J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones will combine for at least 30 sacks. Liam,
that's a lot
off
of
the top rope here.
That's a ton of friggin' sacks. I'll be on for sure.
I'll take the under
he said
as well.
At least.
At least.
Brother,
30.
he said at least.
So not even 29 and a half. 30.
At least. My guy's expecting like 35 sacks from these 2 guys.
Chris, what is your line for sacks for Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt combined as an Arizona guy?
Oh, boy. Well, let's do it this way. Hassan Reddick got 12.5 last year.
Yeah.
So does J.J. Watt replace that 12.5 number? The answer is probably no. Probably doesn't. I think double digits is on the table. I will set it at 22.5.
Okay. And I'd probably take the over on that.
I think that's more reasonable than at least 30.
Yeah. Because I mean, how many did Chandler Jones have 2 years ago?
Let me
look like 20. He hit a monster number like 2 or 3 years ago.
I mean, he is coming off of an injury. I mean, not to say that he can't be good, but that is something that we need to consider. He had 19 last year.
Okay.
And then 13 the year before. So
it's not egregious.
But you're saying that Chandler
It's not egregious.
It's
aggressive.
It's teetering on egregious. JJ over the last 2 seasons had 9 sacks.
Leave him alone. He was hurt.
He played in 16 games this year and had 5.
Played like 91% of the snaps this year, too.
Yeah, and he played around a bunch of dog shit on the defensive line in Houston. What do you want from him?
We're playing the number here. He's going to be 32. What are we saying? 6, 7? What's the number that you're going to put on JJ alone?
8.5.
So then in this argument, in this scenario that we've laid out, Chandler Jones has to make up the other 22.
21 and a half. To get
no, thank you. No, thank you.
I think he's from 8 to 12 is my range for JJ Watt. My range for Chandler Jones is like 12 to 20.
Vontel, it's not slander. It's just we're just looking at the situation.
I definitely slandered the Cardinals in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, you said they had a middle school coach and
a pretender at quarterback.
So then let's slander him some more. Then let's take from Sebastian. Arizona will still finish last in the division.
No.
And Joe, give me the approval maraca because I need it for this take.
Well, this is Shuby. San Francisco is a team in transition a little bit more than I think we are willing to acknowledge. George Kittle and Bosa will be big for them to come back, but losing Sala is going to be a big deal for them. And quarterback, right? Are we rolling with Jimmy G? What are we doing here? So I'm not willing to say that San Francisco is going to move out of the bottom of that division. Oh, God, are we talking Sasquatch? I thought we're past that.
No, never passed it.
Shuby, you don't know about Sasquatch.
You even know about the Squatch.
I've heard of them. They're like
Sasquatch himself.
They're just they're unknown entities to me. I've never actually seen it, but I've heard it occurs.
But Shub,
is it better than this though? I don't think it's better than this. Like I don't think it's better than that.
Listen, Shuby, do you realize that we went through a period of time well before you came on to this podcast where Kyle and I we did Sasquatch calls on the pod, and then Kyle, as the producer, made that the introduction, me making a Squatch call.
Maybe because he starts with what's better than guys, what's better than this. He started his Squatch call like a whoa, and then he laughed. So it's like a perfect kind of play off.
Oh, you know what? I do remember this. I remember that this was the old intro to the show. Yes. I agree. By the way, thank you, Braden. Appreciate it. Appreciate somebody, complimenting the new background,
Chris.
Beautiful. New background. Okay, I got to find a new take here, and I'm trying to avoid the Cardinal slander that is currently going on in the comments. I just saw another one that I just need to not put up there. Let's go with this one because I liked it. Alex Smith becomes the New England starting quarterback.
I really liked what I saw today on Twitter. A lot of people were saying that Alex Smith to Jacksonville, reunite with Urban Meyer. Yeah, be the mentor for Trevor Lawrence, just like he was to Mahomes. Yeah, I've seen that a lot today. I think that's a really good idea. I don't know that anyone's going to take Alex Smith and say, you're going to be our starter. I just don't see that happening.
Right. Now, there's probably 25 teams across the league that should be calling him up to offer him the backup job.
Oh, sure.
But starter, yeah. I would be stunned if he got an offer for a starting job.
Here's think about this with New England. Do they have a whole lot of urgency to they have to get this quarterback this year? Not that Alex Smith is a long-term play.
I mean, we did.
But what type of pressure are they really under to figure out quarterback?
Bill Belichick's under the pressure. The man is going to turn 69 years old. He's 36 wins away from the all-time wins record. You're playing against Father Time here. You can't afford another 6-7 win season.
36 wins he has to get?
Yeah.
Is he coaching is he going to coach 4 or 5 more seasons?
Right. That's the point. So the pressure is if you go win 11 games a year, which they've done for 20 freaking years, you're 3 years away. But if you start miring in 6-10, 7-9,
right,
you ain't gonna make it. So yeah, they need to get it right. If
so that's a fascinating layer, Kyle. I never thought about it.
Joe, this is why you traded up in the mock draft episode this morning.
Go get Mac Jones.
Get Mac Jones.
Kyle traded up for Mac Jones.
Well, you made the offer on the show.
Yeah.
I believe. So, I believe this is on you.
I volunteered the Patriots as tribute.
What are we doing? We going Jameis? We going Jameis Winston? We going Andy Dalton? What's the plan here?
I'm just saying it's game on. You're up against the clock here.
This is an interesting one from Sean. Zaven Collins winning Defensive Rookie of the Year.
If he does, you're assuming you go somewhere that's going to feature him predominantly as a pass rusher, right? Just like an off-ball linebacker is not going to win Rookie of the Year. It's just not based on the voting criteria and those who vote and what they look for when they cast their votes.
All right, well, who's going to get the big sack numbers this year?
Jalen Phillips.
All right, well, okay.
You asked for an answer. You got one. This one from Charles. If Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts are off the boards, the Lions are in play at 7 for a corner opposite Jeffrey Okudah.
Detroit needs to pick good football players. I don't really care what position they play with how far of a rebuild Detroit's got in front of them. I'm just picking good players.
Caleb Farley is 5th on board, so I wouldn't blink if that was their pick. He's a good football player. He fits the description.
Jon Snow has entered the chat. Waddle wide receiver 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we agree.
Approval Morocco. Okay, I just wanted to get the approval Morocco in there. That was really what I was going for. Let me keep scrolling here. Man, the Cardinal slander just got real for a good 10-minute stretch there, and I have to just scroll through it to try to find this one's pretty interesting. Mac Jones falls to day 2, and all the hype around him is purely media based. Excuse me.
I'd love for that to be true, but there's too much need, right? There's too many teams that need a quarterback that somebody's going to do it. Do you think he's a better prospect than guys like Dwayne Haskins, who went in the first round? I think he probably is, right?
Maybe not from a skills perspective. I think Haskins had a stronger arm.
Right. You see a path where Mac Jones gets out of the first round, Kyle?
I've learned to never say never pertaining to anything that is the NFL draft.
But predictively, you would say, if you had to make a choice, because I agree with you on that, you would say that he is going to go in the first round.
Probably. Yes. Probably.
Joe.
What?
Our good friend Trevor is here.
Oh, boy.
Thanks to Trey Lance and Dillard. I can't pronounce. Give me some help, guys.
Ladins.
Okay, that's what I was going to go with. The 2021 draft will be the first to have 2 FCF players selected in the first round since 2008, when the Oxford word of the year was hypermilning. # new vocabulary for Joe.
Okay, so there's
That's a hell of a way to get that word in there, huh?
Yeah, he's in there.
It felt very. I gotta be honest. It felt a little forced.
What does it mean? Let's.
I don't know, but I'll look it up while you guys discuss the take. Also, have we gotten to the answer on the Dillon issue here? Because we don't know. Is he in this draft class or not? Didn't we send a
no? We were worried
on this?
We were worried about Cordell Volson, and he is in. So we're
okay.
Good.
Wait, so he is in the draft?
Yeah, he's in.
So he's playing football games for North Dakota State right now, and he's in the draft.
According to Jordan Reed, that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. Who were the 2 players from 2008, Joe, that were FCS players that got drafted in the first round?
2008.
I'll pull up the draft here just so we have it.
Just tell me who
I've got this one.
Who was the number 1 overall pick, just so that I can kind of
Jake Long.
Jake Long was the number 1 pick. FCS. Really? Troy wasn't. No, Troy's an FBS team.
Oh, I see the 2 guys now. Yeah.
Can you tell me positions?
I can't do that. No, sorry.
We could give him 1, right?
I'm going to sit here and pretend be thinking the entire time. You got to give me something here.
It's good content if you're sitting here thinking.
Well,
I would give
him the first one.
You want the guy at 18?
Position.
No.
I just want to know what position they played.
Oh, I see what guy you're looking at. The guy at 16.
Yeah, give him the guy at 16.
All right, so they went 16 and 18. That's good to know.
Cornerback.
Cornerback.
Was it Rogers Cromartie?
It was.
It was Rogers Cromartie.
Very good.
All right. What was the other position?
Can't tell you that.
Yeah, no.
So it was a quarterback.
Yes.
And by the way, while you're thinking of it, Joe, hypermilling is driving or flying a vehicle with techniques that minimize fuel consumption.
Oh.
In the case of cars, this is an extreme form of energy-efficient driving, according to its official Wikipedia page.
Wow.
Thank you, Trevor.
So there was
There
was an FCS quarterback drafted
18th overall.
Yeah.
In 2008.
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to know that I'm purposely looking over here so that people don't accuse me of looking in the chat.
Listen, guys, don't give him any clues here. There are a couple of key.
Is he good?
He won a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, he did win a Super Bowl. That is true.
An FCS quarterback won the Super Bowl recently.
Joe,
come on, dude.
What do I drawing blanks here?
This is rough.
I feel so dumb.
Joe.
Joe, come on, Joe.
Joe.
I'm drawing blanks.
Joe.
Joe.
Flacco.
Yes.
There you go.
Dumb. Dumb.
He was elite. He wasn't even good. He was just elite.
There you go. He was elite.
He was
He
elite.
was elite. All right, let me find another take here for us.
Oh.
I was too busy
God,
going
they're
down the
ripping me
road.
apart in the comments, and I deserved it.
Well, we tried to help you here with it, but you didn't.
Well, because you don't think about that team. You think Super Bowl like, oh God, it wasn't Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers, or Ben Roethlisberger. Like, where do you go? And you have to remember that one time the Ravens randomly won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco.
He did. You know what's
Devonta
fun?
Smith-
I'm looking at this class.
Mm-hmm. It's a good class. It's pretty interesting. Darren
Joe.
McFadden, pick number
Joe.
4.
Joe. Here's a trivia question for Joe pertaining to the 2008 NFL draft. Okay.
Okay.
There are 3 players selected in the 3rd round of the 2008 NFL draft who are still active players. Deshaun Jackson, Calais Campbell, and who?
You mean second round? You said third round.
Second round.
I just want to make sure that you're.
Calais Campbell, Deshaun Jackson.
And they went 49 and 50 back to back. And one more player.
The reason you guys are giving this to me is because it's obviously a Bills player, some type of parallel there.
It's not.
It's not. He's never going to get this. Why are you doing this to him?
This player was on the Super Bowl winning team last year.
It's gonna be Rob Gronkowski then, right?
No,
Oh,
last
he's
year.
not that old.
Last
Rock's not that old.
Last year.
Last year.
Not
This team
this year.
the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this player was on that team.
Yep.
Somebody in the comments
2008.
already has it.
And
Yep.
I'm not looking at the damn comments.
It's a very good way of.
Was he a
submitting their answer.
starter on this team that won the Super Bowl?
No.
No.
Oh, LaShawn McCoy.
No.
No.
Really? Felt good about that. I feel like he had.
Yeah, you did. There was some confidence projected there that I liked.
Is he playing this year? Oh, he's active. He's still in the league.
He made more plays this year than he did last year
Yes, and some key moments too.
in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's still on the Chiefs.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got T-shirts. They
He does.
printed T-shirts after the playoff
After this
game that
guy.
he showed up in.
Yeah.
Feel so dumb. Why do I do this to myself? So this is a current Chiefs player
Yep.
that made
Yep.
significant plays in the playoffs this year,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's still on the Chiefs.
He did. Yeah.
He beat the He single-handedly beat the Browns.
Well, he almost. He tried.
Oh gosh, it's Chad Henne.
Chad Henne.
Yes.
Kyle, Chad Henne has come up on this podcast too much.
I went to high school with Chad.
I know.
Of course, we're gonna find excuses to bring him up.
So
should've known.
I'm gonna get to this take that I have up here in a second. Here, Devonta Smith will have a better NFL career than Judy, Ruggs, and Waddle. You guys discussed that, but I also want to put this up while we're up here.
No
This game is coming back each and every time.
trivia game. We used
Yeah,
to
let's
do
put
trivia
Kyle
night
on the
on
damn
Twitch.
hot seat.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
used to
try
do
to stump
trivia night.
everybody. We'll try to stump everybody.
Yeah.
Trivia night got real popular on Twitch there when we were
Yeah,
still
that
on
was
Twitch.
fun. That was fun.
Maybe
Yeah,
we'll bring it back.
Jordan won every freaking week.
Jordan Reed won every time.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. Jordan won every week. He won like 5 of the first 8.
Yeah, got annoying. Started to question whether or not he was typing, looking up answers.
So we want to address
No.
this pick real quick.
No,
No way.
no way. I'm
But
all
if-
the way out.
If it happens, dunk all over us, William. Dunk all over us if that
Yep.
goes down.
Clip this, put it on your computer, and if
Right.
it goes down, send it. And what are we gonna do?
Send
are
him
we
some
gonna
Built Bars, I guess.
The good vibes coming my way tonight are much approved.
It's the background.
The background has changed everything about me. That you think
Especially when
there's a bit of a glow up going up right now because of the new background. Okay, that's fair enough. All right, Vontel, you put this in here like 4,000 times. We slandered the Cardinals enough. I'll give you
This
this.
is this is what he does. He gets it
No,
in
that's
and he'll
fine.
just
That's
copy
fine.
paste it every 5 minutes until
Well,
you
and
actually read
in
it.
fairness to him, we went on a little bit of a Cardinals
We got
sidebar.
all the labels.
With rumblings between Seattle and Russell Wilson, Seattle will actually finish last in the NFC West, and Russell Wilson will be on a different team in 2022. I agree with part of this take.
I also agree with part of this team.
that Russ will be on a different team in 2022?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's enough momentum going that way. I can see it happening. Now, is it likely still? No, but I don't think it's that hot of a take, so I can get on board with it. But them finishing last this year. When's the last time Seattle finished in last?
It's
not meant to be a trivia question. I swear.
No, it's definitely been a long, long time.
I'll look it up, but I just it's so hard for me to think that you look at that team stacked up against the Cardinals and 49ers, who I think are their direct competition for the back half of the division. I think they're better than both of those teams.
You got a great head coach like Pete Carroll. It's tough to finish.
I just
last.
knew somehow that was going to get. It was
2000. No, 2000. 1996 was the last time they finished last in the division.
Yes, because in 2000 they finished 4th of 5. So 1996 was the last time they finished last. So I will.
Dennis Erickson, the head coach.
Oh,
okay.
The leading passer was John Freeze.
Vic the Freeze.
Joey Galloway was their leading receiver.
Who was the leading rusher? You can't say all that and not giving the rusher.
Chris Warren.
Like Chris Warren, the second Chris Warren? Like Chris Warren from Texas, Chris Warren?
No. Yeah, maybe.
Chris
That's
Warren
what I mean.
No, not Chris Warren from Texas.
No, I know, but there was a kid recently at Texas named Chris Warren. I believe he was the second.
Yeah, then it could be because this is Chris Warren Jr.
Seattle was 7-9 that year. You hate for
And
that to be a last
finished
place out of 5 teams. 7-9.
That's rough.
Wow.
I was 2 when 1996.
Wow.
2.
I want to know.
Warren has 2 sons, Chris the third, and Chris played at Texas.
Okay,
2015 to 2017.
Great job, Kyle. Great job.
Wow. That's it. We're done here.
Lots of takes.
8:05. Win a little extra. We didn't go 45 minutes extra, but we're getting up on draft season. You're going to be seeing plenty of us in the next 2 months.
Tease something here. We got something special coming up next Monday on the show. Tease it a week in advance.
Are we going live Thursday? That's something we might want to address right now.
Ooh, good call.
That's a very good call, Joe. That's a very good call. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to. Yeah, Kyle, I think Kyle would.
Kyle sniffed out Chris Warren the third. So
you would. I think you would be the team captain for trivia night.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Listen, this 1996 Seahawks team had 2 double-digit sack guys. Michael Sinclair, 13 sacks. Michael McCrary, 13.5. Cortez Kennedy had 8.
Well, we have 1 vote for just more podcasts.
What's the point of that monologue?
I just thought it needed to be said. That needed to be said.
I don't think it did.
26.5 sacks from 2 guys?
Yeah, that almost meet the J.J. Watt.
Yeah, I was going to say that's more than J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones have this year.
Right, they still not even 30.
So we're going to be in Miami this weekend for House of Athlete is doing a combine event. And we're going to have representation there. And if we have the whole group, which we're still waiting for logistics, if we have the whole group, we can go live on Thursday night. But if we don't have the whole group, then we'll need to figure out what the logistics look like of us streaming together. If we're going to need Jamie Eisner to show up with a mobile hotspot and stand on a grill to make it work, we'll figure it out. But just kind of putting it on everybody's radar, we will clarify closer to Thursday night. But there is some travel involved this weekend. We're going to be down in Miami for House of Athletes combine testing.
How about this? You will know when the Thursday podcast episode drops.
Oh, there you go.
How about that?
You'll have the clarity you need by then. So hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit subscribe on the Draft Dudes podcast. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, Chris Schubert. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. We'll talk with you.